Hello everyone and welcome. In this video, we will be reviewing the 2012 Canadian horror thriller film, American Mary. It was directed by the Soska sisters, both Jen and Sylvia, who have had a long career in the horror genre. The film was produced by companies Industry Works, some company called TT, American Mary Works, which by my definition is a red flag since it seems to me that the company put all their eggs into one basket by naming themselves after this one movie they've made, when we all know that production companies can go on to make many films. Anyways, next up is Evolution Pictures Productions, which is a very silly name for a production company. Having both pictures and productions in the name is like putting two periods or two exclamation marks at the end of a sentence. It's just unnecessary. 430 Productions and Twisted Twins, which is the coolest name out of all the production companies on this list. However, we're not reviewing the names of the production companies, but the movie itself. Moving on. It has a runtime of around 100 minutes and has an unknown budget and box office. I can only imagine the film cost anywhere from $80,000 to $10 million at the absolute max. Those are just rough estimates. I'm not sure if this film made any amount of money, considering it likely had a small budget, and if so, little for advertising as well. Not to mention it is Canadian and a horror movie. Nothing wrong with Canada, since there have been some decent works of cinema from Canada. It's just that it's a little bit less known than, say, American cinema, and the fact that it is a horror genre doesn't help it either, since horror films tend to be low budget and a dime a dozen in terms of production numbers. Moving on, cinematography done by Brian Pearson, edited by Bruce Mackinnon, music done by Peter Allen, all of which only did a decent job. Nothing spectacular, all shots, music, and editing was quite standard. Moving on to the cast, we have Catherine Isabelle, who stars American Mary. And that is it. Everyone plays a small role in the film and are not worth mentioning. Other than that, her friend in the film, Beatrice Johnson, who had a lot of plastic surgery to look or resemble the character Betty Boop, I couldn't find her name. Anyways, moving on to the plot. So without spoiling much, I will go over the plot. We have a med student, Mary, working towards becoming a surgeon. She is struggling financially and needs to make some extra cash. This forces her to look for a second job. Once she sees the jobs available online provide her with no real cash or flexibility with her life, she takes up stripping to make the extra money. However, it is at this interview at the strip club that she is thrusted into performing a surgery on an injured gang member, which she reluctantly performs. She is paid handsomely for this. She is now introduced and a part of the dark underworld of both medical and cosmetic surgeries. I will go over reviewing the film as it is without spoilers, though I will go over spoilers near the end of the video, of which you will be promptly warned against if interested in watching the movie. So as stated earlier and briefly, the editing, cinematography, and musical score of the film are all decent. Nothing marvelous, which is fine and expected of a film with a low budget. Now, out of the three aspects, I gotta say the cinematography did the best. Next up would be the writing. My first time watching this film was with friends. I was very relaxed and did enjoy watching the film. I was interested in the next steps of the film and where they were going with the character and story. Next up, the acting was good. Everyone seemed to have a lot of fun in this movie. All the actors worked their parts accurately. Mary was reluctant to perform her initial surgery on the gang member and was realistic in her apprehension to do the job, and more so throughout the film, since her being the main character, we're exposed to her more, and I gotta say overall she did a pretty good job with her acting in this film. She did good. The character Beatrice Johnson, the Betty Boop lookalike, she's fun to watch. Every time she's on screen I'm like glued to her and enjoyed her interactions with her niece, whom we are under the assumption she gives drugs to, which is hilarious and of course irresponsible as all hell. So overall, it was decent. I have to say, even though this film is only okay, I have to say as well, I had fun watching this. For those of you who follow my channel, you'd know I don't like horror movies, and so for me to enjoy this one as much as I did really meant a lot to me. It kind of opened up my palette for more low-budget horror flicks, so if nothing else, you'll have something fun to watch. I'd rate this film anywhere from a 5 or 6 out of 10. Now, given that score, you might not want to watch it or think it's horrible, but it does get my seal of approval in terms of entertainment. Okay, so now I will be moving on to spoilers of the film. If you don't want anything spoiled for you, I'd recommend logging off now and going on and watching the movie in your own free time, coming back if you can, if you'd like. Now, a lot of these will be minor to negative critiques of the film, along with some stuff I liked. It is odd because even though I am partial to the film, I still have to remain loyal to the community of film enthusiasts and rate and review this film as accurately and thoroughly as I can. So here goes. First off, the movie starts with a surgical cutting of unknown meat, later to be identified as a chicken for some med school project, or I don't know, anything really, I guess. She just likes to cut up chicken and stitch it together for fun. These shots are always welcomed and a pleasure to see. Not specifically these shots of surgery on a chicken, but any close-ups of shots paired with classical music are always nice. Consider the opening scene to American Psycho or Dexter the TV series, which is not necessarily classical music, but you get the idea if you know what I'm talking about. Now, these are more common in horror films, though you can see them in other genres as well. Also, the screensaver shots at Best Buy on Sony televisions, man, I gotta say, I just stand in awe at the Best Buy watching someone cut up meat, cook it, or watch some dogs run through a field of colorful flowers. I mean, that shit is mesmerizing. And flattering as all hell to the television to display its high-quality image and sound. Here, let me go ahead and give you guys an example of something like that. Now, my first minor gripe with the film is the scene where Mary acts clueless to the idea if you do not pay a phone bill on time or for an extended period of time, that they will shut off your phone service. That was pretty odd that they put that there. The writers and actress could have worded that so differently so as to accurately portray a real-world thing that happens to people all the time while still attaching the fact that she's poor and struggling with money. They could have done a number of things, like straight up have a cell phone drop, like a cell phone call drop, along with a text transmission that mentions that the cutoff was due to failure of payment. But her complaining to the phone rep about not knowing this irked me. It made me laugh a little bit too, but I don't know, I just found that to be pretty odd. Even 8-year-old kids know if you don't pay a bill, it gets shut off. So I don't know how she doesn't know this. So there's this bird that Mary has as a pet, which unfortunately is not utilized as a symbol or metaphor for anything. Nothing big or bad or horrible, but definitely a wasted opportunity nonetheless. Yo, inflation is crazy, yo. The jobs he's searching for all pay between $6 to $8 an hour, and as of recording this video, it's the early 2020s, and all those jobs would pay double, if not more than that sum. In about 10 years, a mere 10 years, the minimum wage doubled. It could be different in other countries, but damn is this world going to hell in a handbasket. Now, early in the movie, we see her pull up in an old-looking car, but very clean and well-kept, at least cosmetically. I'm assuming they're trying to use it as a prop to further her status as a poor med student, but the car seems to be valuable. I mean, I've seen cars like this, of that fashion, sell for over $10,000 easily used, if not more. If they wanted her to drive a junk car, they could have easily done that. I don't know why they didn't give her a really cheap car or something that looks beat up. Instead they gave her a very nice car. So I don't know, that sends confusing messages. I gotta say, I love the interactions between Betty Boop's character, Beatrice Johnson, the character, and her niece who works at the veterinary clinic where they're about to perform a surgery. They insinuate and do cocaine together, which is so irresponsible, but very odd, very funny nonetheless. I found that entertaining. I didn't really notice that until the second viewing. I found that odd. The detective starts to question her, and she acts very deadpan, which, if I was a detective, would be very odd to me. But since this is the first time he's meeting her, maybe this is just how she acts all the time, and he might not know anything. Anyways, the only reason I bring this up is because right after her associate says a dope line.
Titties and shrimp?
Later in the film, I don't think I'll be able to show you guys, but there are these Russian twins who are introduced by having them walk up to the strip club where they are there to meet Mary. But one of them, before doing so, kisses a stripper and bites either her lip or tongue really hard so that she bleeds and yelps in agony. I just thought that was such a wild thing to do. I know they wanted to imply the fact that they're badass with this, which it does slightly, but I think mainly as an audience member, you're stunned. You're not really like, whoa, that's so cool. You're more just taken back. You're like, what the hell did I just watch? That shit made me laugh on my first viewing. I don't know why the hell they went with that choice. Also, that stripper's either going to quit or never kissing her clients again, which is sad. That's a sad way to be traumatized, to never kissing on the job again. Just absolutely wild. Now, the twins drinking at the same time, the same place, placing the drink down, I thought that was really cool. Just so awesome. Now, there is this one scene where I think it's Mary, it implies that she's jealous, and so she goes ahead and takes revenge on one of the hookers who is making out with the owner of the strip club, who she for some reason has a relationship with, though that's never really established. And so she goes to the bathroom to beat her up or whatever. But what I found absolutely hilarious, mainly at my second viewing, is that she looks up towards a camera. Yeah, in the bathroom. She meets her in the bathroom, looks up to the camera. So this implies that there are cameras in the bathroom of both the men and women's stalls, and I just thought that shit was hilarious. Like, who's doing this? Like, that... The owner of that strip club is a fucking freak, yo. Overall, an okay film. Definitely fun to watch. You're not gonna waste your time. Watch it while you have nothing else to do, something different. If you like horror films, even better. This will be up your alley. Don't forget to like if you did, subscribe for more content, hit that notification bell, share it with friends in the film community. Otherwise, I do appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.